BFA from CCA. It was actually CCAC then, but and then I ended up getting my MFA from Mills, and so because I wanted to teach in college, so now I teach at Santa Clara University. So.
My background is something totally different from art and photography. I have my bachelor's in sociology, which totally ties into what I do with my photography. So as far as photography goes, I took a class in community college, and it was more to learn about how the darkroom works because I love to print. And from there, I just kind of I don't want to say teach myself, but I really read or, took a lot of advice from different mentors or just questioned people like, what are the techniques or the technical things that I need to know to improve in photography. And I think just by practicing, I was able to develop, the skills behind it, I guess you can say. Sean used to make these little zines, and I saw some of his work at an art show.
Yeah.
And the thing that really caught my eye was he had a zine that had pictures from his trip from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't know too many Filipino artists that are from this area, so I was like, man, I need to locate this guy because I also make zines. So I was like, this is cool. And then from there,
then after we met, it was just going out to different art shows, just being around, got to know each other, but that was like years before we even started doing any collaboration work.
Every time we would see each other, he'd either have a button or a zine or stickers, and I had like some kind of collectible, and we would always just swap and trade.
Yeah.
And I think that's just pretty much how it just all started.
The book Lens and Pens, that came about because we had been talking about doing a zine together, and we had the show coming up together, so we kind of upped the ante a little. It's like, let's make a book.
And we've been talking about it for years, working together, and we were like, well, let's make a product. Like, let's do it. Why not? And this is the first collab. Let's see how, where it could take us and what we can actually produce. And so the cool thing that when I had the opportunity to work with Sean's work is I love to cut and paste. Like, that's how I do my zines. And so it was just amazing just to be able to take his characters and just the different things he drew and the sketches that he had and just try to figure out how is it going to work with the photos that I have. And it's a lot of work.
It was a little overwhelming because you both had essentially each other's like library of work for the last, year or so, or a couple years, and so it was kind of a challenge because you're getting this work and you're trying to keep some of the qualities of that work, but then introduce your own work into it too, so it changes it. So you're either trying to keep it, meld in work to keep it like harmonious, or to go against something, so but still make it into something completely new. So
I think for me, like, what inspires me with photography is that every moment that we encounter is something that could be a story. And I think with photography and doing a lot of street photography, documentary photography, there's always a story. Even when I'm capturing still life, and there's, people might say, that's not your style, but there's a story behind it, why I'm capturing that moment, why I want to reflect on it. And so, the daily things that I see in the street, the interactions of just humans, like, inspires me. And
from when I draw, or my imagery, it's, it kind of, I think in a way we're kind of similar, where it kind of comes from our environment and what's around us. What we see, like, I think Ray Abraham, he's like, he goes out and he takes pictures of the streets and like what's around, and for me, I kind of observe what's going on around, and then when I see something every once in a while, I think like, and I imagine what's going on with like that person or that group of people, and then I kind of think about it, and then when I go to drawing, like those things kind of like seep in. So I think in that way we're kind of similar, where our influences are all the same, but we work in different mediums.
Like when we laid out the book too, like there's like times where it was like, okay, we could throw this and this here, this fits. But there's a couple times that, like, you know, Sean and I'd be like, okay, what goes along with this sketch? Which photo? Because we were trying to figure out our own individual pieces and how would they be able to be in the layout together. And like there's this one picture I think of that I had that was taken in the cemetery. It was one person walking in the cemetery, and then I think we decided to put like this picture that Sean had of this guy's head exploding.
Yeah.
So, you know, like capturing just like, I don't know, death maybe, or how the similarities of the picture and the sketch goes along.
Yeah, I think we joked around where like, because it was like the first pages in there, and like on mine it was like, well, like my intention is to make your head explode. Yeah. And then yours is like, mine is to like put you to rest afterwards or something. That.
And I think that's cool. The cool thing is, I mean, you have a picture, a real life picture, and then you have like these cool looking characters that just bring in like a little bit of comedy. So, you know, it's this guy hanging out with his friends, you know, pretty much. And I think that's the cool thing is like, there's just totally like, there's a story. There's like two stories going on, and you know. It could be something serious as life, as this kid, you know, I don't know what people get from it, but then he has all these friends around too. Yeah. They're hanging out with him.
Yeah.